Hey, Terrace right here with Teamfight Breakdown number 5, and for this clip is a team fight between SKT K and Najin Whiteshield. SKT K are down 0-2 to Najin Whiteshield in the Korean qualifiers for a world spot, and I don't think it's a spoiler anymore, but SKT K didn't make it, but they did take a game off Najin Whiteshield, and I thought this fight was really good because it showcased what SKT K's team comp was really about, how they laid down the Rumble ultimate, and they laid down the cog spittle, and then all that AoE damage is done, and Faker just snipes people with Varus' skills and mostly his ultimate, which is really cool. And I really liked SKTK's comp and how they played it for not really having kind of a tank or initiator. Also, before I kind of get into or letting this clip play, I think I'm going to be using only the Korean audio for my future videos because using the American audio gets me in a little bit of trouble. And I'm going to be doing actually some VOD review from people who are in silver, gold, platinum, elo, probably after Riot fixes the spectator client or after Worlds, whichever one comes first. They're most likely going to fix it after Worlds because they have a lot on their plate right now. So I'll start doing some of that as well, and maybe if that goes well, I'll transition it into coaching. I'll charge something cheap like $10 or $5 for a session or something like that. Anyways, let's actually let this clip roll and then we'll talk about it.
갈만하죠? HP 상황. 예, 갈만합니다.
너무 때문에 한타가 부담이 많이 돼요.
네.
지금
충격 부채 맞는 순간 바로 이퀄라이저 미사일입니다.
경기작살,
네.
경기작살도 조심해야 돼요.
야, 이거 괜찮아. 바로 슛 이퀄라이저 미사일. 네, 두 명이 들었어요.
So, yep, that was the team fight. The team fight lasted all of like 20 seconds, and if you looked at it, it just looked like a clusterfuck, honestly, and that's what this fight really was. So, I'm gonna take the time to break it down. First, let's start off with the team comps. SKT K side, they have Lee Sin, Rumble, Xerath, Kog'Maw, and Thresh. What immediately jumps out as you is that SKT K, their initiation is gonna be a Lee Sin kick, and their comp is really heavy on the AoE damage routine, Kog'Maw, Xerath, and Rumble. And Lee Sin does a little bit of AD damage as well as Kog'Maw, and Lee Sin has magic damage on his E. And some Lee Sins choose to max that second. Also, Thresh has a decent amount of magic damage with his box, and it scales 1-to-1 with AP, and each soul gives him 1 point of AP. So if Thresh has like 50 souls at this point, it's an extra 50 points of damage, which is pretty good. And we go into Najin Whiteshield's comp. Najin Whiteshield has a tank, 2 bruisers. I consider Elise a bruiser in this team composition because look at her build. She has a lot of HP. She has Merchant. She's meant to get in there and get the cocoon onto a high priority target to help CC chain. And then you have the double assassins for Najin Whiteshield with Grung on Ahri and Zephyr on Twitch. And these guys are both looking to get flanks. And I'll point it out during the fight. But SKTK is up ahead by a fair amount of gold at this point, and you can even see it in the boots because they only have 2 or 3 pairs of upgraded boots, and Najin Whiteshield is still looking to get their items. Rise doesn't even have a Rod of Ages, and meanwhile Kog'Maw has his full Trinity Force complete. He's working on completing his Blade of the Ruined King. Twitch only has Blade of the Ruined King, and is still trying to get his next item, which is most likely a Yumu's, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. And Gung only has 1 item complete, his Deathfire Grasp, and all Gung's job is to burst 1 person, and he wants to Deathfire and get his burst onto either Faker or Piglet, but their position is super good and they're not going to let it happen. So in my opinion, I think Najin Whiteshield got out-comped, but Najin Whiteshield purposely puts himself in a bad team composition so that it plays to their strengths of stalling out the game until late game and team fighting, and while their minion waves are pushing in and try to stall out the fights so that their minion waves take things like turrets and they get those global objectives. But I really like both team comps. I think SKTK out-comped them hard, and they just hit more item spikes. And a really important item in this fight is the Abyssal Scepter because of the way Impact positions himself. He's going to have the Abyssal Scepter aura on multiple people, and that's going to allow a Faker and Piglet to do a decent chunk of damage, and also Mondu's box to do a decent chunk of damage to people who try to re-engage into the fight as well. So as we get into the fight, go really quickly. Oh, let me mute this. Just some poke back and forth. They're trying to get the inhib, and I want to show this really quickly. I think I have it on the first picture. This, you could just see the skill shots and how it zones out Gorilla and Save from coming into the fight, or at least engaging onto SKT K while they're trying to take the inhib, and it also forces Zephyr and Goong to move around to this side, so the Kog'Maw, Caustic Spittle, and Faker just launching his ability straight at the inhibitor. This whole area is zoned out, and Najee White Shield cannot go in, and also Impact has his ult potential, so Impact can ult, like he has his giant circle around him. Let's see if I can make it actually right now. Yep. So right here is where Impact can ult around. So this huge radius, Impact can press his R, and then he can ult this way towards Save and Gorilla, or he can ult this way towards Zephyr and Goong. So Impact can do that, and Najee White Shield has to be really, really scared. So we let the clip roll on. Najee White Shield, or SKTK, is just poking at them and looking to take the inhib. And I have this part too because I found this really important. What actually Zephyr does is he stealths from over here and he walks down here and he's looking to engage onto SKTK. Watch moves in front of Stealth to prevent Lee Sin's Q, Pumandu's hook, and Faker's E from hitting onto Zephyr, and he also wants to make sure Piglet doesn't get the Q, the armor and magic resist reduction, or even Impact's slow, but Impact does launch his slow at Save, which chunks him really hard, and Save is forced to go back. So this is actually very important, and this is really well played by Watch. So Watch is playing a bodyguard for Zephyr so that Zephyr can unstealth onto SKTK and kind of initiate the fight, which is a pretty bad initiate in my opinion, but at the same time Goong is going around the side for a flank, so it's kind of a decent initiation. Like normally if a Twitch is initiating a fight, you're just going to instantly focus a Twitch, but because Najee White Shield is so good at playing their team comps, and because of the way they pick their team comps, Najee White Shield is going to attack from 2 prongs at the same time, and it's going to allow them to split the focus between their Twitch and their Ahri to make sure that not one of them gets bursted instantaneously. So let the fight roll a little longer. Watch is forced to juke upwards because of Faker's W, and let's let it go right there. Alright, so Watch is forced to juke upwards because of Faker's W, and it puts him perfectly into Pumandu's hook range. So this is really well played by Faker and Pumandu. Faker forces Watch upwards. Right here, the squiggly line is Watch's movement patterns, and Pumandu's going to get a hook onto right here. What's going to happen is Watch is going to end up flashing over and into the enemy team, but that's not really that important right yet. And Zephyr walks around. He's going to look to open up onto SKTK, and this is really good because Gorilla, although he's chunked from the previous SKTK poke, Gorilla's going to jump onto Zephyr, he's going to flash forward, and he's going to get initiation. So Zephyr, even though he's kind of the initiation, Gorilla's going to use Zephyr as a way to start off this fight. So as we let the fight go, Wash flashes in, he's going to try to get the bandage onto Piglet, and Piglet's going to instantaneously flash over here, and Pumandu's going to defend him. Zephyr lays down a Caustic Spittle in case Piglet was to move towards that way, and it also zones out Piglet, Pumandu, and Impact from walking downwards into a Goong, who's going to walk upwards to try to jump onto Faker and instantly burst him. Zephyr, I have the underlines right here because he's going to unstealth and start opening up. He uses his ultimate. You're going to see like I said, Gorilla jump onto Zephyr, and he's going to flash forward, and he's going to ultimate this way. And this is really important because right over here you're going to see instantaneously 1, 2, 3 cooldowns used from SKTK, and 1, 2, 3 cooldowns, 4 cooldowns actually used from Najee White Shield, and these are important cooldowns because they're ultimates and flashes. And I'm just going to open up the next video, or the next clip. There we go. But before we actually get into the next clip, I actually want to bring up right before it happens. And if you look at right before this next clip happens, look at exactly the same time Zephyr opens up, Impact launches his ultimate. So at the same split second, Impact sees that Zephyr right clicks with his ultimate on, Impact drops his ultimate. Not only that, Watch ease into the air, so he's invincible. Goong uses his ultimate forward, Faker burns his heal, Piglet flashes, Pumandu does his box. So in that split second of when the fight was going to start, there was like 5, 6 huge cooldowns that people are using. So these teams are both super coordinated on both sides, and it was super important for Piglet, or Faker to use his heal instead of Piglet using his, because now Piglet has a second form of running away just in case Ahri flashes onto Piglet, and Faker's still pretty high health, meanwhile Piglet isn't, and Pumandu is going to lay his box and it's going to prevent, and Gorilla's going to instantly die, and also Gorilla instantly uses his ultimate as well, so you're going to see like 5 ultimates go off on the same time, which I do have on the next clip. So yep, the 5 ultimates all go off on pretty much the same time. And this is kind of a clusterfuck, but this orange right here is where Gorilla is zoning people off with his Braum ultimate. He's going to end up dying. Watch is in the air the whole time, so he's kind of in like a Zonia state and invincible. He's not going to be taking any damage. Gorilla, he gets chunked out by Piglet's ultimate. Piglet who instantly flashed to the side, and also Piglet and Mandu are knocked up by Gorilla, so this is a really good ultimate by Gorilla. Goon goes in and he forces Faker to get chunked off, and he prevents Faker from moving back towards Piglet, because if Faker moves towards Piglet, it gives Goon a really easy target to assassinate both Faker and Piglet. So if Faker moves slightly away and he's going to move towards Piglet and Pumandu, Bengi's going to follow Goon, and Goon's going to walk downwards to try to take the aggro away from his team, and Zepha's going to walk downwards as well, but he already has the Kog'Maw vision on him, and he also has a Braum shield, the extra armor and MR. So Zepha is not going to be able to stealth for a decent chunk because of the vision that Cog provides, and also because he had just used his stealth to open up onto this fight. And right over here I have like this huge kind of odd looking shape, and this odd looking shape is actually pointing out the Thresh box, the Kog'Maw spittle, and the Rumble ultimate. That's zoning out Najin White Shield, and it makes him really hard to move in this fight. Najin White Shield's team comp is all about super mobility between Ryze's ultimate, Twitch's stealth speed, and just Gorilla jumping back and forth, and also Goon jumping between the fight with his Ahri ultimate. Like this, the way SKT K sets up their ultimates really limits Najin White Shield's mobility, and this is really, really good because the Chinese scene really loves to do this with Jarvan ultimates, and it really likes to limit the way characters can move. So SKT K is in full control of this fight, and it forces Najin White Shield to move where SKT wants him to move. So Najin White Shield is going to group up over here, and Bengi's going to realize that, and he's going to do some sick plays. And this dark blue area I have is an area where Save, it's a danger for him to walk now. So Save can't really walk into any of this. He's going to have to wait till all of it goes down so that he opens up on impact, and he ends up doing some damage to Impact. While Impact walks downwards to force Gorilla. Gorilla's actually going to die, and he's going to force Zepha downwards into Bengi, into Faker. Let the clip continue on. So Zepha gets hit, and he's continuing to open up onto the enemy team. He gets some AoE damage. Piglet and Pumandu are slowed. Faker gets a little bit more damage from Ahri. Watch is about to die over here, and Impact gets stunned up by Save. So Save really doesn't do much in this fight because he was initially chunked, and he was zoned off, and you can still slightly see the Impact ult as well, so he's going to be zoned off. And I have this last final part of the clip. So Bengi's going to flash over to this way because Goong is going to do a final Spirit Rush into this side, and he's going to try to flash over. Meanwhile, Zepha's going to move to the same way where Goong is, and this was something that SKT K was actually trying to avoid. They were actually trying to avoid moving Faker and Piglet into the same general area, but Zepha and Goong actually do it into the for Najin White Shield. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Anyways, so they're actually going to do it, and Bengi's going to follow up onto both carries, and he's going to kick Zepha back into the back into his team, and he's going to blow up instantly. Meanwhile, Save, after he sees that he can't really help his carries in this case, he's just going to run back to base, and he's going to be the only one left in this fight. And Goong is going to go onto this side, and he's just going to flash over, and Bengi's going to kill him with the follow-up Q. But Bengi comes up huge in this fight because he flashes over and kicks Gorilla back, or kicks Zepha back into the enemy team. And watch, that's the kill call where Watch has just died. So I point that out. Goon goes back in over right next to Zepha, so this is really, really bad. They grouped up really hard. Faker has AoE, so Faker's going to ultimate right now, and he's going to get all 3 of his shots are going to hit someone, and I think his 3rd shot actually misses because he tries to predict Zepha. So the kick goes onto Zepha. Zepha goes into the middle of the enemy team. Save comes up kind of huge because he pretty much kills Impact, but Save can't go any further or else Save is going to die himself. Zepha's going to be into the middle of the enemy team. Faker actually knows exactly where Zepha's going to land, and he gets the Q onto Zepha. He kills Zepha. Faker's going to get a Q onto Goong and kill Goong as soon as Bengi also kicks him as well. So Goong dies, and he shoots the last one. If Gung was supposed to Spirit Fire. So that's the end of the fight. Like I said, keep your eye out for more content by me. I might do something for the Worlds matches. I don't know what I'm going to do particularly. Maybe I'll do team fight breakdowns. Maybe I'll do something else where I focus more so on the general map rotations. I'm also going to be doing, like I said, VOD review. That necessarily isn't coaching. I'm not going to be talking to anyone. I'm just going to be reviewing silver player, gold player, and platinum players' VODs and telling them what they can do better. Not necessarily the person, but what could have happened differently. And if people actually want coaching, they can probably contact me, but I don't want to start any of that yet until after the spectator client or Worlds is finished, because I kind of really want to watch Worlds and I have some stuff to do with it. Anyways, thanks for watching.